By the end of this video, this PlayStation 2 Guitar Hero 3 Kramer Striker guitar will be converted into one of my most favorite guitar shapes. The ESP Alexi 600. Just look at this guitar.
It's so beautiful.
So here's the plan. Start by making the body shape out of some 1x2 sticks of pine. Cut up the shell of the Kramer guitar so that it fits inside the new wooden body. Make the front and back face plates out of 1/8 balsa wood. Replace all of the internals with RetroCultMods Solderless Kit. Then to top it all off, we'll add a fresh coat of paint and some decals. Now, this is actually my first time ever opening up one of these guitars and modding it. I have no prior experience whatsoever. Now, I do have 2 of these guitars, and both will be modded at some point. So I think based on condition, this is like the worst conditioned one. So I think I'm gonna open this one up first. Oh yeah, warranty sticker. Do I really want to void the extended warranty? Really? Ah, there we go. I'm replacing this board, I'm replacing this board. The only wire I need to cut is this one right here for the Whammy Bar. And now I should be able to take out the Whammy Bar. Yeah, this start and select board is like overly stubborn. It's just stuck on there, man. I'm kind of glad I'm replacing this because I'm not scared to break it, but geez. There we go, holy crap. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna snip right behind it. And then I should be able to pull this back enough. Ow, mother toad. Don't use your finger for that. Note to self, ooh, there's 2 different colors? I thought it was just like one piece. So they just fit into each other like that. Gotcha. I gotta clean the battlefield. Pickguard is now off, which means when I put the top onto this, everything's gonna be nice and level. Step 1 is done. Completely disassemble the shell. Step 2, and I don't know why this really matters, but clean. Wonder if I can just like peel it up like that. Yeah, I don't need the scraper. What am I doing? Or maybe I was just trying to make it satisfying for some people that like watching this kind of stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. I ruined your good feelings. All right, I'm gonna give this a little bath and I'll come back.
There's only one thing that could make this moment any better.
What's that?
If you had a nice set of knockers.
That's 2 things, Lloyd.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you're not stacked, Harry, or I'd be banging you right now.
Okay, so while those are taking a bath, I have to make a template of the body that I'm gonna make. So I'll start here, and then we'll just loop it around, and... Now, I didn't add the Whammy Bar cutout for this, also the start and select buttons here. And the reason for that is if we put this pick guard over here and line it right up, you can see that the start and select are going to be where the edge of the body is. And there's going to be 3/4 inch wide wood going right through right there. I'll figure it out later. Now that the template's done, it's time to make the frame. Just have to do some measurements. All right, let's go cut this wood and we'll put it together. So I'm gonna let these dry on their own separately and then join them later, but first I wanna put the template on so I can trace the outline of this curve and then be able to sand those pieces individually. So I got a little ahead of myself this morning when I woke up. I just decided to start sanding and cutting the pieces and shaping them a little bit. But essentially, this is how it went down. So it's not looking too bad right now, but I still have to shape all the edges, and I still have to cut the sections for the neck. But I have to get these glued up first so I can actually line everything up properly. What do I do while I wait for that to dry the next couple hours? I did do another little thing. The shell was, done bathing. I mean, honestly, not that the bathing really mattered that much, but I scuffed it up a little bit and you can see that I have some lines on here. That's the rough outline of where I need to cut so it fits inside the body. This is it. Don't get scared now. Don't judge this, man. Okay, I think I'm as ready as I'm gonna be to cut this. Oh, The edges are not cleaned up yet, but it went pretty smoothly. I almost cut through that, and I'm glad that I marked it out beforehand. Same with this little stand right here. That is actually where the part of the whammy bar is, like the actual mechanism. Oh man, I gotta do this whole process again. How many Guitar Hero fans right now are just like, because I am, but not really. I'm excited. It took a little finessing, but I finally got the shell to fit into the body, and it looks beautiful so far. I did do a little bit more than just fitting it in there. So on the fins right here, you can see I glued these little backings on. Those are going to stay there permanently. And then I have this, which is the back cover. That's going to be screwed. Oh no. It's going to be screwed onto the back. However, on the front of it, this is going to permanently be attached. So there's going to be another like cover on here, but that's going to be glued on to here. And next order of business is to figure out where I want the start and select buttons. Now I did go through some planning and go through some like configurations. I realized that there's free real estate in this, which also makes sense because it's a button and these are buttons too, so it's with its family. Whoa! Oh no, crash. So this little piece right here fits absolutely perfect in this space, and all I have to do is just drill a couple holes so I can press the start and select button. So that's my plan with the neck and the start and select button. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is create the faceplate. So I got my 12 by 12 sheet right here. And now all I have to do is trace around the frame and the template so I know where to cut it out. And then draw on the stripes so I know how far to taper all the edges. And I didn't have a long enough ruler, so I used my screen poster. Now that I had all the stripes drawn out, I could start carving the edges with this knife cutting towards me the whole time. I didn't have a chisel, so other than sanding, this was my best option. But as I started cutting, it was just working perfectly. I was just able to cut accurately to the lines and cut at the perfect angle, and it was working so much faster than if I was to sand it. And I'm serious too, this is the aftermath of carving with the knife. My desk is a mess. I still have to do some sanding to make everything smoother, but that shouldn't take long. I need a little sanding dust. Nobody's got to know, but I did all this last night. Check it out. I did some sanding. I smoothed some edges. I'm so stoked on this. Look at this. Oh, the nice crisp edge there. So yeah, this is how it's looking so far. I finished up the ends here. I finished up here. And we even have the back on here because I needed to sand that down a little bit. There's a little bit of gap, but I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, this just goes right in there. Fits like a glove. And then the top part of the neck is eventually going to be glued onto the top part of the guitar, leaving the bottom part removable. But for now, we can put it in. Look at that. It's almost done. I am still undecided about you. I don't know if I want to cut right along there and put some plastic over that and get the neck looking that way, or if I want to make it all out of wood. I just really don't know. Do I just leave it? It looks close enough. I'll decide that later. I want to get the body done. I almost robbed you of the close-up here. So this is what it's like after sanding. I love that I got the taper like perfect on here. So I think what I'm going to do now that this is silky smooth, I'm going to go and paint it. So I grabbed the good old black glossy spray paint. I started to do a bunch of light layers, letting them dry in between so I can get coat 1 finished. Okay, while the first coat is drying, I'm gonna print up some of the decals that I want. So I specifically want the Floyd Rose, and I think I'm gonna go with the gold one. Yeah, this is gonna take a while, so we'll check in later. The paint for coat 1 happened to be dry right now, so I did a little bit of light sanding before applying coat number 2. I gotta wait quite a while before I can do the yellow on the guitar. So the only thing I can do right now is, do I even have Mew in here? I do have Mew. Oh yeah, I guess I never showed you the decals that I wanted to make, so here they are. We have the gold locking nuts. We have a truss rod cover. We have the Nightmare logo that's gonna go on the headstock. We have the gold Floyd Rose. That was weird to say. I'm undecided if I'm going to put the Graffiti Nightmare on the back of the guitar, but I might. And then we have the Sawtooth inlays. First, I have to put laminate paper on the sticker paper because it's a matte finish and I don't want it to scratch. All right, and essentially oh my God. All I gotta do is just, oh, well, it's going. It's gone. I was gonna try to line it up so I didn't get any bubbles, but it had other plans. It took quite a while to cut all these out, but slow and steady wins the race, I guess, because it came out pretty good. All right, the black paint is now dry. So I got the fins done back here, not any of this because this plate will just cover that whole thing, you know? What I'm excited about is doing the yellow stripes now. So I'm gonna start with the easier one and go from the bottom corner and then just kind of push it along the edge. I guarantee it's not gonna be perfectly straight lines. There's gonna be something wrong, I know it. And not gonna lie, and this is in the way, so I'll just show you after. I got these stripes all mapped out. Look at that, it actually looks pretty cool green. I screwed up so badly. It was all going great for the first light layer, and then on the second layer, I noticed it was starting to crack and bubble a little bit. I let it dry for a while, and then I went for the third layer, and that's when things got much worse. I was able to wipe off all of the yellow, even the stuff that had dried, and some of the black that had dried too. That became gooey. Maybe it was because I forgot to sand the glossy layer of the black paint before putting on the yellow, or the fact that I left it too dry in the shed while it was cold and rainy out. Either way, I went inside and started to scrape everything off while trying to avoid damaging all the tape that I just put on there. I was able to scrape and sand everything down so I could start over. So after I completely caked on the yellow layers, I became very nervous about peeling the tape off of this. However, it wasn't actually as bad as I expected it to be. So here's how it all turned out. As you can see, like I predicted, the lines aren't going to be as crisp as I wanted them to be. I mean, from where I'm going to be standing when I play, the camera can't even tell that there's like frayed edges. So the hard parts are completely done now. I built the body, I modified the shell. Oh, also I got rid of the Kramer. It doesn't look good right now, but a sticker is going to cover it later. So after all that, I'm going to bed on a good note, and we'll cut to tomorrow. I picked a bad time. So it looks like none of the internals from RetroCultMods is going to be showing up anytime soon because Canada Post is now on strike, which means all of my stuff is now stuck in the States until the strike is over. No idea when that's going to be. It could be a while. I guess this means I have a lot more time to work on the guitar because I was expecting to have everything either by now or very, very soon. So let's get my thinking cap on. What do I want to work on? The whole time I have not been able to decide if I wanted to cut this neck until now. I'm just gonna full send, as you youngins say. I have a slight idea of what I'm gonna do. Okay. So I have the rough shape of it now, but I got a gaping hole there. So what I'm gonna do is heat up the plastic that I just cut off and mold it over the hole. This is actually gonna work. So the plan of action right now is to hot glue this piece into place from the back side. And once that's done, I just sand it down. I don't know how, but I did it. I got it. So that's what the headstock's looking like now. I did a little bit of sanding. This is, I think, the worst part right there, but that's not bad. And again, I know it's not gonna be perfect because this is the first time I'm doing any of this. Oh yeah, and the most important thing about this is it comes apart easily. And it goes back together easily too. Well, I guess all I have to do is just show you the other little things that I did off camera, or I plan to do off camera. I hot glued some hardware from my skateboard on the inside of the neck so that I could attach the neck to the body. Then I cut the strap buttons from the Kramer guitar so that it would sit flush against the new body. And since I had a lot of extra time, I figured I would put the yellow pinstripes on the back side of the guitar also. And yes, I did make sure to sand the glossy layer before applying the yellow layer. I also decided that I was going to add more yellow layers to the top part, so I taped everything off again. And yes, I sanded this one too. While the yellow was drying, I colored the frets silver and added a white line around the neck. It was now time to apply the decals to the guitar. And I was going to put this sticker on the headstock, but I decided to go with something a little bit more official looking. I only put on some of the inlays for now because I still need to make a hole for the start and select button. And finally, I put on the gold Floyd Rose next to the strum bar. Finally, after a month of waiting, all the internals from RetroCultMods have shown up. Ooh, some nice purple packaging. It's like Christmas. We got the clear 3D printed frets, a couple of screws, washers, Starpower sensors, all that stuff. Got a bunch of little connectors for all the wires. Got all the wires themselves. Hopefully these ones are long enough to put the start and select button where I need to. Yeah, so this is my new start and select board. So it does come with another wire, which means it's definitely going to be long enough to go where I need it to go. Okay, we got the new main board here. This is for the strum bar, you know, connecting everything to the actual guitar. Satisfying. Oh man, we got the mechanical fretboard right here. It's not actually clicky, which I'm fine with. I thought they were going to be the same as the strum bar, like, you know, the loud mechanical click. We got the 10-foot USB-C cable. And to top it all off, we got a nifty little RetroCultMods sticker. So first things first, the new start and select board is a little bit longer than the old one, which means before I do anything, I have to make sure that this board can fit where I need it to be in the neck. The first thing we need to do is put the screw in here. Same on this side, just need to lock it down a little bit, not too tight. Now what I actually want to test here is that. Okay, so that works. Now I need to see if the bottom can fit on there without interfering. Otherwise I'm gonna have to cut some of these. Okay, moment of truth. Oh yeah, you know what? You can actually see in there that there's enough space for it. I think I'm gonna put the main board in first because I know that that's for sure going where it's going. Shove that in there. Put these little standoffs back in. And then we have these two little things that are gonna go into here. Actually having a little bit of difficulty getting that to go in. It's just not pushing in smoothly at all. Okay, so I eventually did get it in. It took a little finessing, but it's in there forever now. Got them both in. They don't stick out too much, but apparently they're supposed to make it less loose. And I think I'm gonna use the included screws to put this on. Apparently I can't. It's too big. At least for that side anyway. I can put it over here. I'll use the little silver ones on this side, I guess. Next up, I gotta put the whammy bar back in. So what I need to do is loosen these three up. Let's see if you can see what it does when you loosen it up. Yeah, you can see it. And now I need to strip the end of these three wires. So after I strip the end of these three wires, all I gotta do now is just put them in the holes. And I have to make sure that the middle wire goes in the middle here, and then the two outside wires can go in either one of these. So in my case, the middle wire is the red wire, and that needs to go into the middle where it says ADC. Once it's in there, I'll tighten that up. I'll put the brown wire in VCC, and then the orange wire is going to go to where it says ground. Quick little edit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these washers where they're supposed to go. I forgot. Just in case anybody in the comments is like, you didn't put the washers. Don't worry, I did. Boom, all done that. Guess I can do the frets next. Ooh, okay, so these have a little bit of like texture to them. See, at this moment, I don't know if I want to keep all of them to be like the transparent ones. Oh, it does look nice though. I kind of want to take out the middle one and put the yellow one there. It doesn't look as good, but it does have the little like nubby. I think for the time being, I'm just gonna have them looking like this. We'll see how it feels. I gotta give it a chance. So now I just put the fretboard right there and it all lines up. Take these screws, put them in, twist them down. Ooh, okay, they are very sensitive. So much different than the silicone. And now time for the big wires. They only go in one way, so just kind of shove it in there. So we'll put one in the RGB side and put the last one in the blue, orange, and ground side. There we go, the frets are complete. Okay. Start and select. I know I could put it in the body, but I don't really want to put it in the body, but I also now don't even want to put it in the neck because I want to be able to put the inlays there. But I mean, I can still probably cover the start and select with the inlays. No, screw it. That's where I decided I'm putting it. That's where it's going. I know that some of you might say that if my Starpower doesn't work, then I can't easily press select to activate Starpower. However, I do have a foot pedal for that, so I'm not too worried about it. Whoever inherits this guitar like many years later can deal with that. Okay, so what I have to do now is I have to hot glue this plastic piece right here. I gotta place that in there before I put the holes in. And I want to line this up the best I can and then kind of tack it in place. I need just enough so it doesn't move around. Once that dries, I can take off the board and drill the holes. All right, not bad, it worked. And this is what it looks like with the board in. I added the inlays. I mean, they're upside down now, but like, there you go, got the inlays there. Now to wire start and select to the main board. I'll start by putting the wires into the connectors. It's a pretty simple process. You just put the wires in and flip the switch to lock it in place. Give it a little tug to make sure it's snug as a bug, and then do the same thing on the other side. Next, I have to unscrew the terminals and put one end of the wires into the main board. Once one end is locked down, I need to match up the wires so I know where they go on the start and select board. Upon completing that task, the fretboard cables can now be attached to the main board. Ground orange and blue, yellow, red, and green, then the RGB wires. Just going to mount the wire connector to the body with some double-sided 3M tape so it doesn't move around, and do some cable management for the fret wires before moving on to the tilt sensors for Starpower. Essentially, all I need to do here is bend the prongs 90 degrees and then shove them into the holes on the main board. And the last thing I need to do once both sensors are connected is to tilt them about 45 degrees so that Starpower does not activate while the guitar is in default position. So now that all the internals are done, I put the shell on, not the actual like body yet, but now it's time to actually connect it to the PC and get it all set up. So we just go to the RetroCultMods website and click on download program, scroll down and click on download latest version for Windows because I'm on Windows. Do I trust you? Sure, why not? Now all I got to do is just plug this into the computer. All right, good sounds, good sounds. So I am on the solderless kit and it defaults to 1.1. That is what I'm on. And erase and configure. Oh, all right, 100% done. It's working great. Yeah, Whammy's doing whammy things. It is a little bit weird when I go like this and then go like that and like don't press down. I calibrate that. I think I'm gonna have it there. All right, save settings. Does start and select work? It does. All right, one up. One down, we're good. So now what I want to test is just the Starpower and the whammy. All right. Starpower? Yeah, it works. All right, all right. The one other button I got to test is just select. So let's see if it restarts my song. Perfect. All right, it works. You are ready. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the guitar is now complete. It's looking so fucking beautiful. I am stoked on how this came out. Like everything works great, it feels great, it's nice and light. And one thing I added to the back of this was some cable management. So now all I do with this 10-foot cable that's sticking out of it is just wrap it around so it doesn't dangle when this is inevitably hanging on the wall. So we can just kind of lock it in there. Boom, just like that. Good to go. I didn't show this before, but I put the hole for the USB cable in the exact location that the instrument cable would go into the Alexi 600. Same goes for the strap buttons. I put them in the exact same location as on the real guitar. And I did decide to add the Nightmare sticker on the back of the guitar, so this is what it looks like now. The solderless kit that I got from RetroCultMods is working great, so shout out to you. It's so cool how the buttons just like light up like this. I'm never gonna be looking down at this to see it happen, but in videos and live streams, you guys will see it. And after playing for a while, I got used to not having a little nub on the yellow. However, it does feel really slippery. So yeah, fun, easy project. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the journey of its creation. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button, obviously. Maybe I'll do another one of these someday. I don't know, but you're gonna have to hit that subscribe button to find out. So I'll catch you in the next video.